Good evening, everyone. I Good evening, everyone. I grew up in Cameroon, in Africa, and in my family, education wasn't taken for granted. We faced many challenges like other families, but one thing my parents believed in was that education could change our future. When I migrated to Australia, I carried that belief with me. As a migrant student, I faced many challenges. Learning a new language, adapting to a new schooling system, and sometimes lacking basic school needs. I remember sometimes feeling overwhelmed and not really wanting to do schoolwork. But still, education opened doors for me. Today, I'm a secondary school teacher and a PhD researcher in maths education. And I work every day with young people who remind me of my own journey. But what I see in students, especially from migrant and refugee students in Logan, across Logan and Ipswich, deeply concerns me. There are many families that are facing financial hardship. Students are lacking learning devices in school. Others are navigating the new schooling system while their parents are learning the English language. While others are learning the English language. I've worked across schools in Logan and in Ipswich. I already work in a school in Ipswich where I see these problems every day. If a student, for example, doesn't have a laptop for learning, they are required to write everything on the board. Sometimes the student will ask me, "Sir, do I have to write all of this down?" I'll turn around, have a look at them, and I'm like, "Yeah, unfortunately you have to." We will laugh about it, but honestly, behind that moment is a real barrier to learning. I remember last year, a mother walked into our Ipswich office with her teenage son Ben, was in grade 10, and Ben spoke, he looked really sad and sort of disengaged. So the mother told us that Ben had begun disengaging in school, his grade had been dropping so quickly, and he felt education wasn't for him anymore. As we spoke further, we discovered something important, that the problem wasn't Ben's ability. The problem was access. Ben did not have a laptop, which is a requirement nowadays for most schools through the BYOD programs. Internet access at home was unreliable. His family had also faced some severe financial hardship, and Ben was trying to complete his assignment using a borrowed laptop. Imagine coping with school in that situation. Sadly, Ben's story is not unique. A student shouldn't fall behind school simply because they cannot afford a laptop. Across Logan and Ipswich, there are about 45,000 secondary school students, and 7,400 and above come from refugee and migrant background. And 2,000 of those students potentially lack appropriate digital learning technology. So, all right, so the students lack digital technology. When students come across these sort of barriers, what happens is they begin to disengage. And when they disengage, it could lead to school dropout, social isolation, and sometimes behavior issues that will lead them to youth justice. And that's why we created FMAS. With FMAS, our mission is to make sure that students who are ready to try do not fall behind simply because they don't get support or they don't get the resources they need to succeed. Over the years, we've supported over 300 students through digital access, support, tutoring and mentoring, and essential relief for families. Our model combines three things: educational support, digital inclusion, and essential relief. And essential relief. So, tonight, for Ben, I'm just going to talk about Ben, how we supported Ben. So for Ben, we first of all stabilized the family, so we provided them with basic essentials that they needed, food and the basic things to survive. And then we got Ben a laptop and internet. We enrolled Ben in our tutoring and mentoring program, which runs weekly. And one thing is, everything changed. Ben began to engage again with school, his grades improved, and his mom, I remember his mom saying to me, for the first time in many months, my son believes he has a future again. And when I met Ben so when I met Ben recently, he spoke very highly of education and his future. And currently he's in grade 11, and he is exploring trade pathways. And moments like that make me incredibly proud. And honestly, it's a privilege to work with these young people to rediscover their potential and confidence. Tonight, we are seeking $20,000 to expand this program. $15,000 could afford 20 to 30 students with a laptop and internet access. $5,000 would support students, then 20 to 30 students through our tutoring, mentoring, and essential support for families. Every $500 raised tonight will afford a laptop for a student who desperately needs one. But the impact goes beyond numbers. What that means is every student who felt hopeless would begin to believe in themselves again. Families who felt isolated will begin to feel supported. Your support will help remove those barriers that prevent a young person from achieving their potential. Thank you.